About how and why did you started legal writing, and when did you start legal writing?
I started legal writing in the first year itself. It is
Okay.
one of the most important co-curriculars which we are supposed to do, because if the most important thing why I entered into legal writing is that if if we are writing suppose 5 pages of article, 5 page article, then we will at least read 50 pages of articles, 50 pages books, and that gives you a basic a good amount of knowledge about a subject, because you cannot expect everything to be taught in the classrooms. The faculties have time restriction constraint, and they will teach you limited. So in order to develop more understanding on a particular subject of law, because when you write on a particular subject of law, you develop more and more insight about it. So that's the reason why I chose legal writing, so that I can uh, have a basic understand develop a basic understanding, which would be helpful to me for my future ventures.
So before moving on to the legal writing section, sir, benefits of legal writing as a law student.
The major benefit is that first of all, it not only improves your language, which is a very crucial thing in this field, but it also helps, and it also develops a insight and a critical thinking, because when we listen to somebody, so we very much get impressed out of the person, that wow, what a wonderful speech, or some sort of thing like that. But this is not law, just hearing and clapping and all. We need to apply our mind. There needs to be a critical thinking, and this critical thinking is developed with the help of writing, because when you write more and more, that critical thinking develops, that why are you writing, because basic thing of writing is why are you writing. So the question is that there should be some issue, there should be a problem, you have to identify the problem, and for identifying those problems, you need that critical thinking. And for developing critical thinking, you need to read more and more and write more and more,
Okay, sir.
in my opinion.
Okay, sir. What are the different types of legal writing as a law student?
Like like the classic form being the journal, right, for writing of the journals. But in the recent times, we have seen the coming of blogs, wherein wherein we write on contemporary legal issues in concise manner, in brief manner, in a brief piece, 1,000 or 1,500 words, something like that. And basically, blog is more of a something that, if something is contemporary, it is mostly like a debate sort of thing. Like, we have debates. We see many legal debates happening around, even in law schools or any other places. But it is not always possible to bring everybody on that forum. So blogging can serve as a medium where I am writing a piece on a contemporary issue for 1,500 words, and in response, I get a piece. It is more of a debate thing, but I still believe that it is better if we focus less upon blogging and more upon journal writing, because because of blogging, like, I'm not against the system of blogging, even I write blogs. But in case of blogging, the case is that you write 1,000 words, just 1,000 words, and it is more of a, you basically read the secondary sources, that is the URLs, and you prepare your piece. But when you write for journals, it is more about, you read a lot of literature. Like, I am taking an example, my personal example. So in if you pursue masters, that is LLM, you are supposed to write a dissertation of 100 pages, something, or 100 odd pages. And for that, it is a big, it's 30,000 words, something like that, and you read everything under under your subject, so it gives you a better insight on a subject. So I always prefer journal writing, because it gives you a better insight. You read more in comparison to blog. Yes, blog is necessary because it keeps you in flow, because if you don't write for a long time, it happens in my case, if I don't write for a long time, that momentum is not there when I again sit on my writing table. So blocking is necessary, it keeps you in regular writing practice, and you are well aware of the contemporary events. But I still believe that journal writing is a better option, but still you should do both. You should do both. It One should not be, well, you should not leave one and go for other, but maintain a balance, the main thing.
Okay, sir. Sir, how a law student should start writing to, matlab, what are the stages of legal writing?
So when law student is writing for the first time, so I will not suggest him to write a very big piece. I will suggest him to begin with a blog of 100, 1000, 1500 words. And most importantly, before you write something, read something. Because when you read articles, you get to know what is expected of you. And most importantly, which often we miss out in the earlier stages, that is in the first and second years, is that we write up, we sit in our rooms, we write wonderful essays. But the problem is that if you are sending it to any journal, then you need to read that journal. Then only you will get to know that what is expected of you. Because we often believe that we have given our best, but we don't know what is expected of us. And that becomes a major cause of rejection. And because of this, and because of continuous rejections, we leave this field. Because to be honest, writing is the most non-glamorous thing in comparison to other co-curriculars, be it moot courts or debates. It is the least glamorous in comparison to these two. You write, you wait. Like in case of blogs, you have quick review, 1 or 2 week things. But in case of law reviews, it can take 2 to 3 months, even 4 months. And even then you can get a rejection. So you start afresh again. So this is something which is not that motivating if you get rejections. Therefore, I will suggest that if you want to write something, begin with reading something. Read more and more, and then jump into writing. This is what I will suggest.
Okay, sir. Sir, how to do a good research before writing?
Like if I want to do a good research, look, basically, firstly, we all search upon Google, but and we read the articles which we get in. Like I will suggest two things. Firstly, like because it's COVID time, so we cannot access that college library so easy, which we used to do in our law normal days.
But in
So
normal
in
days, you
that way,
get access to library.
yes, access to library, because library is necessary because you need to read books. There can be no alternative to books. Like today we have online resources. I have no problem with online resources, but the thing is that in case of online resources, we search for it with a specific thing, and we read it and we complete our piece. But in case of book reading, we come across many new things which we were not supposed to look into, but we get into it. And that is also a good thing, because though it may not help you in this very essay, but it may give you future ideas for next essays. So in case of research, begin with law review articles. Like I won't suggest you the news pieces, because they are not something which we cannot rely upon, because it is subject to change. I will suggest, if you are supposedly marital rape is the issue which is currently in Delhi High Court, which is currently going on Delhi High Court, and you desire that I want to write something on it, read some law review articles, be it Indian or most, like in my, I will suggest that it is better to go into the foreign law reviews, because there I have no issues with Indian authors, but I still believe that the quality of work which the foreign counterparts produce, the Western counterparts, especially from US or UK, we are nowhere close to them. Even those who are close to them are settled there only. So we don't have such Indians we have some good Indian writers, but still I will suggest that foreign law reviews are better to start with, though it is tough to read and understand. But the depth of research which those guys do, this is something praiseworthy. Because like I was researching upon, like my dissertation topic was anti-conversion laws. So I was reading upon anti-conversion laws of India. And the most amazing thing was that the best article on this topic was written in Penn State Law Review of USA. And it was such a lovely article that it will bring you laughter, that the UP State Law Commission, in their report, they entirely copied that article without citing the sources, and then submitted it to the chief minister. It was such a wonderful piece. So read the foreign, because reading foreign law reviews, reading can be beneficial. So read those reviews, because those can be like, I guess people have access of Hen Online,
Yes.
which is one of the most crucial sources. So from Hen Online, you can access foreign law reviews, and after reading those reviews, if you want, you can read the resources which the author has referred in his or her piece. You will get more material, and then you can start writing. But the major thing is, whenever you think of writing a piece, firstly develop a problem, because until and unless there is no research problem, what you are going to write? Because there needs to be a problem. You are not supposed to just add one more article to the existing literature. That's the reason why we do literature review, that I have gone through these pieces, author has argued these things, and I found flaws in these very things, or something which is missing. You have to show that something is missing in the existing literature, and that's why I am working. That's the way how to, because the major question arises, so many of the people have written articles on that very topic. Why I should read yours? And for that, you need a proper review of literature. So this is how you begin your research with.
Okay. So can you name some of the law journals law students should visit before start writing?
Like in my, like from India, from Indian law reviews, I will suggest NLS Socio Legal Review is something which you cannot miss upon.
NLS.
NLS Law Review. NLS has many law reviews, but in particular, NLS Law Review, the old classic one, 1988 one, which is now 33 years old, and second, the Socio Legal Review. These two reviews are one of the finest reviews of our country. Then there is Nalsar Law Journal, and when I say Nalsar, there is one Nalsar Law Journal, and the second is Nalsar Constitutional Law Journal. So both are equally good. NUJS Law Review is good. Then NLU Jodhpur Comparative Constitution Law is good. NLIU Journal is very good. Then apart from that, NUALS, they also have a very good law journal, and you can access it for free of cost. The best thing is you can access it for free of cost. So you can refer these journals. But I will suggest that instead of looking into website of each of it, I will prefer, if you have an access to it, reading it is not a bad idea. But if you have access to Hen Online, first look into Hen Online and then proceed research, because it may be too much of it will be a bit difficult to find a topic from the website itself. So it's better to use Hen Online, and then if they have something, then you should read it. Apart from that, yes, EPW. EPW is something which we cannot miss upon. Economic and Political VP.
Okay, sir. Sir, what is your guidance of writing a publish worthy research paper?
So, like, suppose, like, if I'm like, currently I'm working upon AMU Law Review. So if I'm writing for AMU Law Review, though I have an idea of it because I've got my article published there earlier as well. But if I'm writing for a particular law journal, like the prestigious college law review, so firstly, you should be aware of the existing literature around you, because sometimes we believe that what I am going to suggest is the best thing which can happen, but someone has already wrote it. So you cannot, for knowing, for making your work novel, you need to read as much as possible on a particular topic. So firstly, read the articles on a particular topic, and secondly, read the previous volume of the journal, because you need to know what is expected of you. Because as I told you earlier, that we write in isolation without knowing what is expected of us. So read that, and mainly, like, mostly a particular article consists of an introduction where you introduce a topic, why it is in news. You look into the background of it. If it's a constitutional or topic, you look into assembly debates as well, if available. Supreme Court judgments. Yeah, I missed this one. Supreme Court judgments are also a best resource to start your work upon, because this is something which we need not be proud of, but Supreme Court judgments are highly plagiarized and lengthy and copied ones. But even though it's copied ones, it gives you good amount of knowledge at what to read. Though if you look into British counterparts, like I was reading one of the British judgments, 2019, it was R versus Prime Minister. It's a classic judgment of mere 25 pages, 11 judge bench. So this is something different altogether. But Supreme Court judgment also should refer to the existing problem. If it has been answered in any different jurisdiction, you use their ideas as well, and then conclude. Your conclusion is the most important thing, because in the initial parts, it's mostly something which everyone knows, but it's your conclusion which makes an article strong. Your suggestions. That's the most important thing.
Okay, sir. So, what is the process of publishing a research paper for a law student? As many of the law students are not aware of the process or big journals where they can publish their legal writing.
Like in this case, you can visit few websites like Loctopus or Law Off, and Live Law is also there, call for papers, and SCC Online. So in these places, you can look into it, and at which all journals are seeking articles. And the most important thing is that you will be never short of journals. There are tons of journals which are seeking articles. You need to shortlist a few journals. You cannot write for each and every journal. You shortlist a few journals. Like I won't suggest you that in the very first year you go for analyst law review. That is something quite dangerous. Go for private colleges or some traditional colleges. You can give an attempt, but if you lose, don't be disheartened. It happens. Even today, so first you look into it, the journal in which you want to send, then you decide a topic on which you want to write a particular topic. Sometimes you are supposed to write upon the theme which the journal prescribes. That is also an issue. So look into it, whether it's an open theme journal or whether they are giving you some theme as well. Look into those journals, shortlist it, shortlist a topic, read as many articles on it as possible. If possible, even books. Books are also something which you cannot miss upon. And then you start writing. And most important thing is that we don't have that peer review, that reviewer culture. Like in many places, we do have that we write a chapter. Like in CNLU, this happens in the master's level. That too, I'm not sure how much it happens. With during like when we write dissertations in LLM courses, we write a chapter, we send it to our professor. The professor goes through it, gives his remarks, sends us back. We incorporate our changes, and then again we write. This is something which should be there, which is not there. So in that very case, when you don't have such a mechanism, that such a thing forum, so you write your article looking into the previous volume articles, that how the authors in that very volume wrote. You said that you have to set that article as your benchmark, that I have to write something like this, then only I stand a chance. And then you write accordingly, and then you submit it. And yes, most important thing, be ready. Don't get disheartened if the article is rejected, because that that happens on most of the occasions. Like in my case, currently I have completed my masters, and still I have many articles which I wrote 2 years ago which have not been published yet. So this is some reality which we need to accept, that not every article gets published. And secondly, it also takes time. So you need to have that time. That's why I told you that it's not a glamorous co-curricular, because unlike debate where it happens, it ends in 1 hour, you finish it off in 1 hour. In moot court, it's 1 or 2 months, not more than that. Even sometimes it gets four months, but it gets over. In writing, it never gets over. If it gets rejected, you start afresh.
Okay. So,
That's
can you list some of the journals or law blogs where a first year student or the students who are starting can submit?
like in first year, like current, like when I was in first year back then, there were not so many law blogs. It was developing, that culture was developing. Today we have tons of law blogs. So law blogs you can write anywhere, or if you want, you can maintain your own law blog as well. That's not a tough thing. In case of journals, what I say, you should take part in essay contests, because essay contests are something which is a blinder thing. Like when I was in first year, so it was my first semester ended, and I had a vacation in between the 2 semesters. So I saw a brochure of GLC Mumbai essay contest. So I thought that let's give it a go. Luckily, I won it. So 4,500 like you take part in essay contests, write for some private colleges, or if you want, you can take a risk as well. That there is no issue that you should not write for big journals, but yes, first read those previous volumes and figure out that whether you will be able to write for that journal or not. Because sometimes it happens that we want to write for some big journals, but when we see the previous volume, we get to know that it's quite difficult for us to write right now for that very issue. So private law colleges, essay contests, and yes, take part in seminars, because seminars is something which you should not miss. Look, ideally, it's the project presentations which should develop speaking skills amongst us. But if you don't, but it's better if I don't talk about the project presentations right now. We all know how it goes. Okay. Our research skills like I was joking once that we review of literature we don't do because we directly copy someone else's literature. So go for seminars in first year, and not only in first year, even go for seminars, as many seminars as possible, but good ones. When I say seminar, it should be an NLU seminar. Then don't go for private seminars. Then go for an NLU seminar. Private law journals, okay, first year, fine, it's good. But for seminars, it should be government, it should be NLU seminars, because th- that's the place where you will learn more. Because when you present your paper, you face questions from the board, the panel. So you get a better idea that what I missed or what is wrong or what is right. That's something good which you should do. Like I was a bit late in seminar thing. I got into seminars in my second year. I had to in fourth semester onwards. But since then, I have been doing it regularly, and it's good. It helps you a lot.
So, sir, any word of suggestion for students who want to write and who are starting to write?
Look, the most important thing being is that you need to read a lot, because if you want to write, if you want to write articles, like as I told in the very beginning itself, if you want to write even 5 pages, you need to read 50 pages. So develop that art of reading more and more from whatever sources. Read law reviews as many as possible, but good ones. And even in law reviews, you need not read entire articles. Just read the important, like some notable articles and all, and be ready. Like, don't get depressed if your article is rejected. It is part and parcel. It happens. And it will happen till the very end. Until and you don't become a big shot in legal field that just your name is enough for publication purpose. So that's the thing. And for beginning, if you are in first year, you can read Gautam Bhatia. His works are very good. Then for criminal law, there is one who Abhinav Sekhri, who writes very good. Abhinav Sekhri, Gautam Bhatia. Then there is Law and Other Things blog, LAOT. You can follow this blog as well. And apart from that, in case of Gautam Bhatia, you also have his books which are available in market, and his articles are free of cost, accessible at SSRM. So for me, it was a very good source to begin with. I learned a lot those pieces.
Yes. So, thank you, sir, for all the insight you have given. Hope this helps the students.